Hello and welcome back. In this video, I will demonstrate how to post vendor invoice with withholding tax. This time, I'll be considering an exemption case actually. Okay, exemption in the sense when we get exemption certificate from government, that case we can apply exemption here. Okay, so initially I have configured my tax code with 2% of this tax rate of withholding tax, or we also call it as TDS here. Okay, when I get a 50% of exemption from government, in that case what will happen, my effective rate would be 1% here. Okay, so with this what will happen is basically at the time of tax calculation or the tax posting of this withholding tax, system would consider only 1% of tax rate here instead of 2% here. Okay, let us see how to adjust our business partner to consider this exemption, because we have to input exemption numbers, exemption reason, the validity date for which it is applicable. Okay, so we need to do these settings basically of the master data update in vendor master, or we also call it as supplier or the business partner here. So let us start with that. Okay, so we have to use transaction code BP here to adjust this setting here. Under BP, select the BP where you have to maintain this detail here. Okay, in vendor master we have to go to this FLV N00, which is financial accounting. Under company code you will find this withholding tax data here. These are the normal details that we have entered here related to subject to withholding tax here. Scroll to the right side, here we have to mention the exemption certificate number, okay, and the exemption percentage here. I'm saying that there are 50% as an exemption here, and we have to give the exemption date. I mean, from which date to which date it is valid, that we have to mention. Further, there are some pre-configured exemption reasons. We have to give the exact pre-configuration exemption reason that we have to select here. So I have selected this first reason here. We have to always ensure that our this business partner is subject to withholding tax, even though you have maintained all details, relevant detail here, and this, if this is unchecked, that time system will not consider this withholding tax portion or the postings here. Okay, now our details are saved here. Now let us post one vendor invoice with transaction code MP60, which is not relevant to the PO, basically without PO vendor invoice posting. Select the supplier, consider invoice date, withholding tax 1% of rate here, or we can say that this is the exemption case actually. Okay, now we have to select business place, basically this section code, business place and section code. So basically business place is relevant to this one, GST or the normal taxes in India, and section code is basically relevant for TDS, withholding tax code postings here. Now select expense GL account, enter the amount here. Under business place section code, this cost center for example, yeah. Okay, now sorry, first before we go there, input this vendor amount here. Okay, this is not entered here, I mean the details are not fetched because we are yet to input the amount, vendor amount here. Okay, input the basic details with this 1000 amount here. Okay, now go to withholding tax data here. Now the amount is 0 here. Under this withholding tax, you see here there are two taxes we have assigned in vendor master. One is at the time of deduction, at the time of invoice, and another is basically at the time of payment. So we need only invoice time, current case. Click on simulate button here. Now you see here expense is basically debited with 1000, and since there is exemption of 50% here, so because of that, instead of 2%, system has considered as a 10 here, and the effective amount is 990. Click on post button here, click on document and then display. Okay, double click on vendor line term and just click on with withholding tax data. You see here this is how system has calculated this tax, and further if you scroll down to the right side, then you'll see this exemption number here. Okay, so this is how basically system calculate taxes, this withholding tax, by considering the exemption. We need to have this exemption detail maintained there in the vendor master, then only this TDS with exemption or the withholding tax with exemption will be calculated here. Okay, thanks for watching this video. I hope this video is useful to you. Please subscribe to this channel.